Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion, Chukat, presents a ritual that we've seen before. In the version from Exodus, the Israelites start complaining for lack of water after leaving Egypt. Moses asks for God's assistance. God tells Moses to be in front of the people alongside other leaders. He takes his staff in his hand, strikes a rock, and water comes forth. But now, many decades later, in the book of Numbers, the Israelites complain for lack of water after Miriam dies. Moses asks for God's assistance, who says to speak to a rock. God tells Moses to be in front of the people alongside other leaders. He takes his staff in his hand, says, "Listen now, you rebels. Shall we produce water for you?" Raises his hand, strikes a rock, and water comes forth. In the first version, he strikes the rock, and in the second, he is to speak to the rock. While the people aren't punished for this misstep, as they get water both times, because of that missing nuance difference in the ritual, Moses and Aaron are not allowed to enter the Promised Land. We might also look at the story and notice that Moses also gets angry at the community. But if we're going to notice that detail, then we should also notice Moses' context. As I look at this story, I see Moses' response as a clear expression of his grief. Remember, his sister Miriam has just died. Not only is she associated with bringing water for the community and leading the Israelite community in song after escaping Egypt, Miriam literally saved Moses' life, as she is the one who watched over him as a baby in the basket going down the Nile. Again and again, Judaism teaches that we should give people the benefit of the doubt and try to empathize before we judge them. In Pirkei Avot, we read Hillel's teaching, "Do not judge anyone until you have stood in their place," as well as Yehoshua ben Parachia's teaching that we should give others the benefit of the doubt. Of course, we often miss the mark. We judge others unfairly, we don't consider their context enough, and we don't always seek first to understand before being understood. So this Shabbat, put yourself in someone else's shoes. Consider Moses and his pain rather than his misstep. Welcome Shabbat with chesed, compassion. Our portion this week, Chukat, comes from its opening phrase, Zot Chukat HaTorah Asher Tziva Adonai. This is the Chukat, the ritual law that Adonai has commanded. Imagine how our world were changed if chesed were our primary ritual law. Shabbat Shalom.